meat and curry, I'm your man. Cause how we all lose it is a mystery. It's like the changing of our wardrobes from a dire history. But it's the one making us not stop. 50 kilograms is all we've got to drop. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Gents, how are we?
Good. Yeah, how you doing, Ian?
Today we've got the top droppers special guests joining from the competition. And I'm a little bit nervous about it, John. What about you?
Not nervous, no.
Nice. That's good. You can lead the way then.
I guess maybe because
who's joining.
I'm doing nothing towards it. That's why I'm not nervous.
Yeah, fair enough. For the context of listeners, top dropper competition, if you haven't heard before, go back a few episodes and you'll understand what it's all about. Basically, 20 of us are trying to lose weight. In week 1, we lost 50 kilograms in 1 week collectively. I've never been proud of a group of people in my life. Everyone's got a different strategy and everyone's at a different stage of their weight loss journey. And after week 1, I proved that I'm unbreakable and unbeatable at this diet game. Yeah. But it's not about me. It's not about me. Yeah. It's about
that made it seem a little bit like
no, look, I just look, it's stats and figures, Bob. Yeah, it's just stats and figures.
Week 1, mate.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. And week 2, I'm still cooking, baby. Look, John, stop. I'm joking. That's the last time
I'm saying anything. You're shaking my head.
Right, so we've got a couple of guys from the group coming on. Should we add them in?
Let's get whichever droppers we can on.
Admit all. Here we go. We've got 2 in the waiting room.
Oh, it's exciting.
Gents,
I'd like some videos.
Die hard droppers, get them videos on and reveal yourselves. Greg Wade, what a man.
Amazing.
Greg Wade. Oh, I read that. I would assume that was going to be Greg Wellman, and yeah, no offense.
Why would you
to Greg.
assume that?
That was just the first Greg I thought of. But yeah, no offense to Greg. I'm quite happy it is Greg Wade.
And secondly, we got the online sensation, the guy that's going viral, Max, the Faster Thor.
Hi, gents. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
and
nice.
meet you over the old Zoom.
How you doing, gents? How's the competition treating you both?
Fantastic for motivation, right? I mean, that's why you're doing it. It's so good for making you think about what's actually going to work, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I think I'd have fallen off by the end of last week if there wasn't some weigh-ins coming up.
I've been saying to Bob for a year, let's do weekly weigh-ins. So just like to get Bob's views on that.
Yeah, we have. The group's definitely working.
Say that again, mate. Sorry, I was laughing.
The group's definitely working for me. I think it's having a positive effect on everyone. I'm enjoying the top dropper community and the weekly weigh-ins. Yeah, we kept saying we didn't end up saying we're going to go to bi-weekly, didn't we? We were going to do fortnightly, and then I don't know. We just didn't ever do that either. Mainly because we probably weren't getting results. We're probably quite keen for weigh-ins now because we're all doing really well. That's definitely a part of it.
I'm at a little bad stage here because I've actually done very well for the first 2 weeks of every month and then completely killed it. Maybe not this well, but I couldn't be in a better mind frame to carry on losing weight at the moment.
Oh, great.
So let's get some chat. Gents, bit about your background. Who are you? The listeners are desperate to understand a bit more about you two, so come on.
After you, Greg.
Yeah, we'll save the best till fast, I guess.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so a bit about me. I sort of lived in London 10 years ago. I think that was probably the midst of my weight gain journey. Where I just love beers, love kebabs, anything I could get my hands on, really. Never really thought about my weight, just went after it, put whatever I could in my mouth. And then, obviously I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, bloody hell, I can't run up a set of stairs here without getting a stitch. So I've tried the lot really in terms of weight loss. So I did a bit of fasting. I never managed sort of 72 hours, the numbers that Maxie's putting up, but I've sort of done like a 24-hour fast, that kind of thing. Tried keto, I think probably like most of you guys. Tried vegan, tried bloody everything really. And really, I only started seeing results probably the last 2.5 years when I sort of knocked booze on the head, and sort of along that came probably a few other cleaner habits. So started managing to get out and play golf, managed to get out and run, and actually there was a sort of reason to be a bit lighter in the end.
Have you canned booze altogether then, Greg?
Yeah, mate, I've not had a drink for 2.5 years now. So
Really?
What?
yeah.
And
know
was
how
that
much
brought
you
up because
were
you wanted to
inhibited?
lose weight or get healthier, or was that just for other reasons?
So truthfully, it was probably the weight was a real big part of that. I think at my peak, I was sort of around the 134-ish, which about 134. So I guess
Rookie numbers.
You were never anywhere near that big when you worked with us, no? So that's bigger than me.
118, 120 when I was
Yeah.
working with you guys, and
Yeah.
then sort of it carried on going up as the more I drank, the more I ate, and so I'm down to obviously 108 now. We're on the way, but still a long way to go.
Max, let's
Sounds
hear
like
about
he's
you,
solving it.
sir.
I mean, Greg sounds like he's halfway to solving it, really, with lifestyle changes. But yeah, my background. So John T dragged me over here. I actually went to the same school as him up north.
Yeah, it's big
That's
northern
going to be a
following.
big section of this pod, by the way.
Well,
The northerners are outweighing the southerners currently.
Yeah,
There's
true.
three of us
Well,
here,
Bob's
yeah.
northern as well, to be fair.
Is he?
North Wales, yeah.
North Wales, I see.
It's counteracting that liquor chat that you had with Mardle last week.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Only pints for you, Wayne.
I was going to say to John T, if he promises not to tell any stories about me, I won't tell any stories about him. And I think that's.
I mean,
I think we should have either of those promises. We should just
such a long time ago. Ian
Yeah,
sort of
I can't remember
asked
anything.
me. He was like, "Is there going to be any funny chat?" And I mean, I'm not 34 now, and I'd have been 18. So it's 16 years ago that me and Max last spoke or met each other. So yeah, it's a long time to rack the brains.
And a lot of weight gain since then.
Yeah, certainly is.
That
Yeah.
was lovely.
And then-
That was lovely.
And then to bring it on to the theme, the weight gain really and weight loss pretty much steadily since I don't know, a lot of us had this experience that of those of us that went to uni, you can eat more when you're younger, you get in bad habits of having takeaways, use that student loan for easy food. I had a Nando's around the corner. And then even though I could do enough sport back in the day, as you settle out of uni, the weight just started to pile on as you didn't do as much sport. Still had the bad eating habits. I still had bad boozing habits. And that climbed me up till last year where I was my heaviest. Got married. That always seems to make you get fatter. Sorry. And then I had a kid. I got 1.5-year-old. And then you lose the sleep and that makes you get fatter. And then I was pushing over 140 last year. And then I saw the light.
You stopped eating.
Yeah, I stopped eating. Funny enough, the most effective diet. There's literally no diet more effective, right? If you're not eating, you're going to lose weight.
I think I said this on a previous pod. I really struggle with fasting because, mate, I haven't done the 3-day one. I actually want to do it because I've got liver problems. And I think every bit of research I've said reckons it will rejuvenate the liver and get it working a bit better. But if I'm doing intermittent fasting, I make such bad decisions after that. So let's say I haven't eaten from 7 o'clock through to 12 o'clock. That 12 o'clock meal is going to be repulsive and it's going to be quick and I'm going to cram it in my mouth in 5 minutes. So I like to keep myself regularly eating and that seems to work for me personally.
I was the same, I started with intermittent fasting and it was exactly the same process. I'd end up far more than overcompensating for the calorie loss with doing intermittent fasting. So what I'd humbly suggest is maybe you haven't found the fasting schedule that works for you.
Yeah, maybe.
So I can't really do that well, because the whole point of it is that you pretty much keep your insulin at a level so that you're in fat burning rather than fat storage, right? And with intermittent fasting, you can end up falling to a bad habit that as soon as you're not in your fasting period, you just kind of try and eat throughout that other whatever period's left over. And that totally goes against the spirit of the fact that you're trying to maximize the time that you're losing weight, which is why I've switched to the longer fasts. And I found it easier because first few times I did 24 hours, it sucked for me. Most people, it sucks. You got to keep busy. You got to drink stupid amounts of water. Otherwise, you just can't do it. But if you do it a couple of times, it suddenly becomes easier and easier. And now I actually look forward to it. Like all the things
Max,
like the mental clarity. Yeah, go on.
Can I chip in with a question? Sorry,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, boys. Did you ever have you noticed? Presumably, you're going into like ketosis when you sort of enter when you go in fast for long enough. Do you ever find negative effects from being in ketosis? For example, I ended up getting gout a couple of times when I sort of went into keto, which I obviously didn't enjoy.
So I suspect that's a rest of the diet problem rather than a fast problem. So
Maybe.
So what do you know what causes gout?
High uric acid.
And that's a buildup in the joints, right? So
Yeah.
So there's going to be some kind of imbalance in the rest of the body. So I suspect fasting put you into ketosis. Well, it doesn't make sense. I feel like there was something else going on there rather than the actual fasting.
I just noticed that whenever I seem to be sort of messing around with like keto or fasting, that I was all of a sudden getting these because obviously it should be anti-inflammation, right? That's the sort of science behind it. But I was all of a sudden just started waking up with agony in my right foot.
Did you was it a true fast, or were you taking any kind of supplements or
No, and actually that was one thing that I thought maybe I was doing wrong, because I know perhaps you should be supplementing like magnesium and things like that.
Yeah, so if it's 24 hours, just water, just coffee, absolutely fine. Once you start pushing to what they call extended fasts, which just means more than 24 hours, it's better to be aware of what supplements you might need, and there aren't many really. Like if you go more than 24 hours, you could have any kind of standard multivitamin. I don't bother for 3 days because there's enough nutrients coming into me the rest of the time normally. But the only other thing is, because I do sport still in the fasted state, that sometimes the salts might get a bit low, and you can feel that tiredness kind of come over you. And I find just a couple of turns of the old salt shaker in a water usually sorts that out. And as simple as that. So I've been training this week absolutely fine. In fact, I find I get better energy after I've had the first 24 hours of fasting. So I might extend this 5-day fast I'm aiming for till the Saturday and play a full 80 minutes of rugby in fasted, because I'm interested. I've not actually looked at the articles for like proper athletes training, Olympic athletes training in the fasted state, but there's loads more studies that have relatively recently, last 5 years, come out where they're pretty much saying it's more optimum to do high level sport in a fasted state because of things like the increased amount of human growth hormone you get after a certain point, that your brain and your muscles are being fueled from your fat, and that's so your brain's getting fueled by ketones, which is basically the best fuel your brain can get, and all those things they're thinking there might be a bit more of an edge. So over the next 5 years or more, we're going to start seeing the results of a lot more of these studies and see how effective actually training with fasting is.
Off the back of that, surely we're then thinking that in the future we're going to have pro athletes turning up to Olympics or whatever in a however many days of fasted state. That would be wild.
It's already started. You already do have some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's already started, because think about like fasting kind of ties in with our like caveman past about feast and famine. We've got periods where you've been successful on the hunt, and then you haven't been, or you haven't been able to gather food, and you suddenly are forced into a fasting state, what you might call starvation then, right? And that's why it makes sense in terms of evolution and biology that you become a better version of yourself. because if as a species if your muscles faded when you fasted, if you got weaker when you fasted, then it makes it even harder to hunt and harder to gather. So you know every time there's a period of without, you're going to be more unsuccessful. So conversely, what happens is that fat storage is ready. The point of it is to make you a more effective food gatherer as soon as you've had a period of without. And that's why all these we're starting to research all these massive benefits coming out after 24 hours, because the body goes, crikey, you got to catch whatever you're going to get. You're going to have to travel to get what you're going to get. So going back to sport, they're starting to link it to marathon runners, right? Who you might think might risk it a bit more because they can be around like 8% body fat. So if there was any like risk of muscle going during that, they're going to suddenly be really ineffective if they reach a fasted state or anything like that. If it did mean that you would lose muscle in a similar kind of rate as you would maybe fat, but it doesn't happen. It goes straight for that fat, and then all these processes happen that make them more alert. You produce more adrenaline, as I said before. You get more human growth hormone. It makes you into a hunter ready to go. So that's the ones. There's no real high level marathon runners doing it yet, but a couple of things I read that I'll pop in the group later had ones that were just testing, just going, oh wow, it is making me more alert, it is making me better. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
I've got a question. You quite often refer to this sort of caveman, that like you go into caveman mode, but it's so caveman's was either eating or he was starving. Was a caveman ever not just like catching a little bit of food and just eating a little bit?
Yeah, but I'm just saying over 10,000 years of human evolution, we had periods of fast and famine, and if you couldn't survive the famine period, you go in, that wipes out that sector of humanity, right?
I mean,
but
it
yeah,
makes
obviously,
sense to me what you're saying. I would say that I'm a bit blown away by the whole situation. It is very interesting.
yeah,
I agree.
And I mean, I can go. Oh, clearly, I can go on and on and on about all this kind of stuff.
I've got two
Go on.
questions on this.
Go for
on
it.
this
Go for it.
thing, right? So one's going to be aimed at intermittent fasting.
Yep.
So when you get yourself into this ketosis, right? So your body's chewing fat rather than chewing anything you put into it.
Yep.
For energy. So do you not find then when you come off of it? Because what I understand about ketosis is that you, like you say, it's this a state where your body's chewing itself because it needs to get energy from somewhere because you're not providing it with energy.
Mm-hmm.
So what my understanding is that when you then feed and you put stuff into you, your body then goes, right, fucking hell, we've got some food in us now, but we're now worried about when I'm next going to get food. So I'm going to store all this.
Okay.
Rather than burn it or whatever. I'm now, so basically it does the opposite. When you start eating again, it starts going, we've got to really try and store this.
I could probably tag on to that question as well, because it'll probably tie in with it. Just in terms of with the nature of going into ketosis, it's so low in sodium as well, just the nature of the food that you eat. And you tend to lose a lot of water weight quite quickly. And then do you find that when you actually sort of go back onto like a carbohydrate, glucose-fed diet, that actually you pile that water weight on and your sort of body's holding that?
Yeah. So I'll answer Greg's first, really. So the massive weight loss you see at the start is definitely water. But every day of fasting you do, you're pretty much losing a pure half pound of fat, which you can't really do any other way. Like fasting is the most effective way to just directly target fat. And so you're right. In terms of trying to motivate yourself, as soon as you start eating again, you're going to get quite a big bump up on the scales. But if you know all the other good stuff that's going on, plus you're losing that pure half pound of fat every day you've done it, that should be used as your motivation to keep doing that and have it as a more regular part of your life. And then you're saying on the overeating, about like, do you actually like pile that on? So it's pretty much the fact that after everyone does a fast, they're going to eat more the next day or the next meal than they would normally.
Yeah.
However, and like some of us, I'm sure, could have a really good go at it, but try even just 1 day fasting. That's for one of us, it's probably nearer 3,000-4,000 calories, right? If we weren't being too healthy, that we'd try and double that so that you'd wipe out a days of fasting. What we're looking at between 5,000-6,000 calories. You've got to be like, I really want to annihilate the fast I've done. I'm going to go for the all-you-can-eat buffet and sit in there for 6 hours kind of
I
stuff.
back
So,
us, to be honest. I back us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to be able to do that. My point wasn't about whether I want to try and ram all that food in. My point was more about the state your body's in. So it's like you've got it having to chew its own fat to get energy.
Yeah.
Because it's in this like hunter mode, like you say.
Yeah.
But then when you put food in, it then goes, oh, we've got food now. We've got nutrition coming in. So about storing that. And so it's deliberately keeping hold of the fat from that rather than burning it. So I don't know how else it get energy, but
well,
my point is like it going right now. We've got it. We were without. We might be without again in the future. We've got to store it.
So this really links all to metabolism, right? So just to be clear, metabolism is how well you burn the energy that comes into you for all the body's processes, right?
Yeah.
So if you're worried that when you eat after a fast that the body's going to pile on more fat than it would have done normally because it's trying to compensate and is worried about a time of want.
Exactly that.
What you're really asking is, what does it do to your metabolism?
I guess.
Okay. Yeah, because if your metabolism went down from a fast, then that would 100% mean that your body would not expend as many calories doing the stuff it does to keep it going, like thinking, moving, fueling the muscles, fueling your mind, and then any excess calories you got in from eating would go straight to your fat stores.
Yes.
Fortunately, we have studied this, and your metabolism either stays the same or actually goes up because of all those things about turning on basically hunting mode. Your muscles get used to it and get used to the demand. It actually takes about, if you fasted regularly over a month, after 2 weeks of like regular fasting here, intermittent fasting, 24-hour fast, whatever you did, or if you just went all out for it like I'm doing this week, after about 2 weeks, your muscles really start to get ready to get used to being able to use fat directly from your body rather than relying on that easy glycogen you get that you need for your instant exercise. So where was I going with that? So your metabolism actually goes up at that point because it goes, you are a kind of person that needs more energy in your muscles. So when you fasted, it makes you a person that metabolism goes up. But it does. So we've got plenty of studies now that basically says your metabolism goes up the more you do it.
Right. Yeah.
Not
Okay.
for infinite. So no,
that's
the
not
answer
necessarily
is
to worry about.
yeah. The answer is no. The sad thing is, the diets that I used to do, and that a lot of you are frankly quite doing right now, if you just have a calorie deficient diet, which is all the other diets besides fasting, right? Sadly, what happens is your body does what you're worried about. It goes, say you're used to 2,500 calories a day and you're dieting, you're on 1,500. After a certain point, your body will start to go, there is a shortage of this regular food that I'm used to. Our new normal is 1,500 calories. So the metabolism drops to match to 1,500 calories a day. So
Johnny, this is what you've spoken about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked Brian O'Keefe on this, and he said it's true, but it's a bit of you got to do it for like 100 days before that actually happens. So like if you dieted for 50, 60 days in calorie restriction, you wouldn't get an effect on your metabolism. And I definitely don't think it was as extreme as Max has just said there, that what you'd actually drop to 1,500 would be your maintenance if that's what you're eating.
So have you heard of the show The Biggest Loser in the US?
I'm trying to get some of the Biggest Loser UK contestants on.
Do you know why you can't get any of them?
Oh, I can't find them. Yeah.
Well, besides not finding them, but
Was
also why they drop off the
got
radar.
terrible metabolism and put loads of weight back on.
They're all fatter than they were before.
Yeah.
There's never in the history of Biggest Loser been a reunion show because every single one is fatter than they were before. Because over exercising plus cutting your calories is a guaranteed way to kill. So say it, I don't think it takes 100 days. I think it's sub a month. But say it does, or split the difference. Say it was 60 days, right? If you're doing any kind of intense program where you're trying to make that diet part of your life, then you will trash your metabolism. That like even O'Keefe will agree with that. Then if he says it's 100 days.
Well, he put weight back on as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, guess what? We all fail diets. All diets fail because of that. Because it trashes your metabolism. You can't get into a good habit with a diet because you're gonna eventually make what do they call it? Your body's trying to go to a homeostasis.
It can't completely trash it because I kept mine off for a year, and I mean I was eating if I trash my metabolism, I'd gain weight eating 2,500 calories, and I was still eating normal amount. To actually put the weight back on, I had to up it to
bit more.
pigging out. Yeah.
Okay, so what?
Not to sound like the most boring bloke in the world, but surely this is what sort of shouts out for just kind of pretty sustainable, clean eating habits
Yeah,
that you have
yeah.
to sort of build.
Yeah, but the problem is, Greg, we all want to. I quite often want to lose the weight really quickly. Like, like if I was to lose weight at the sort of the recommended allowance is like it's like half a stone a month or something. So it'd take me like almost a
long time.
year to lose the weight I want to lose, and Ian and Bob probably 2 years.
Well,
To be fair, Bob, we tried the sustainable approach, didn't we?
but, and also,
Sustainably
It's just
growing
too
for a
slow.
year.
Half a stone a month is too slow. Sorry.
and also, have
So-
you not been tired? Have you not been tired and more
Yep.
mentally exhausted from dieting?
I feel alive, if I'm honest, Max.
Yeah?
This month, I feel alive.
I think that's because you motivated yourself because you've had success, right? But surely
Maybe,
most.
but I
most
feel
of the time-
lighter on my toes already.
Oh, good.
Did that massive walk on the weekend. It hasn't even hurt me at all.
Good
I
one.
think the problem, this is my views on it, right? I've given up cigarettes. I was smoking 30 a day for years, and I just stubbed it out, gave it up. It was awful for a period of time. I gave it up. I've done diets where I've given up certain things, but the one thing that I've never been able to crack is the fact that I'm an absolute pig when it comes to eating. And I've got a proper eating disorder in the sense of I need to put food into my mouth all the time. So back to Jonty's point, right? Kept it off for a year and everything, but he was in a habit at that point. And again, exercising, that sort of stuff regularly is the same sort of habit. The addiction part of me, and I've been addicted to loads of stuff. Like booze is a big thing for me. I get absolutely battered when I want to get battered.
Mhm.
I can never do anything in moderation. It has to be all in. This is why I don't touch anything kind of illegal, anything like that anymore, because I know what I'm like. So
Heard that little anymore there.
yeah. we all grew up, Max. You know.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's an addiction thing that I'm battling, right? And stuff like diets gives me a new routine, gives me new habits, gives me a new way of life, and this sort of stuff. And to your point of your metabolism or your part coming back, let's say I'm doing 2,200 calories now. 2,200 calories means that's my normal weight. And in my head this month, I've been going, this is getting easier every day. This could just be my new life. Granted, I'm doing it out of restriction without any booze or anything. And to Greg's point, I could probably do without drinking forever. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, the diet is actually battling the addiction and it's getting you into that lifestyle. And I'm still planning on doing some sort of 3 days off starvation thing throughout this process. But it's not to lose weight, it's to fix everything else. And I kind of am listening to that kind of rejuvenation of organs going, that makes total sense. But I think for me, I'm trying to change a habit and change a lifestyle. And I think that's the bit that I can fix. And maybe I'll always go back to the slob, but it psychologically, that's been ingrained for me as a kid. And I'm trying to undo all of this stuff that is just go to. I was in a BP earlier for the first time this month, buying a bag of veg. Yeah. The chocolate section's there. I've been smashing that chocolate section for years in that BP. And I'm just staring at it. I'm going, what is wrong with you? Why is that going through your head? So I totally get what you're saying. I totally get your point. But I think for me, it's more of this kind of overcoming this person that is just this repulsive eater and everything like that, and going for something in my mind is a little bit more sustainable. I haven't felt hungry once. All I'm doing is really walking. I'm not really doing I'm not doing much exercise yet. Trying to stay injury free, and I'm getting results. So I'm feeling good at this point. And I know that the diets are going to stop and probably go back and forth. I've had 2 days of gaining since I've been part of this, but it's like the extreme fasting thing I can get from a medical point of view, but doing it every week, I can't see that being my life personally.
So I wouldn't. So what you're asking is right. Is it's got to be sustainable, right? If everything's lifestyle and habit, it's got to be sustainable. And obviously, a week fast isn't sustainable for regular life. And I remember Jonty on the last pod said like he's interested to see what my my plan would be after like a competition weight loss kind of thing. And there's two things to make of that. Is one, trying the more extreme fasting has had that breakthrough that it sounds like you had for smoking, that there was enough of a cutoff from like, there's no other addiction you have where you have to have a little bit every day, right? Imagine trying to give up smoking, but you were forcing yourself to have a cigarette 3 times a day with cigarettes in between. Like you have to have a meal 3 times a day and snacks in between. Like there's no other addiction where you have to drip feed yourself the addiction because you've got to live, right? But then we got to change the mindset and go, well, I can actually give actually not eating a go. And it took me a while to do that, to get past intermittent fasting, to try an actual longer fast. And then that broke the thing that I imagine breaks in your mind for breaking the addiction like smoking, and goes, actually, it's not that hard. And that's killed the thing. That's killed the staring at chocolate bars for me. It's killed the need to think about food all day. And then at the same time, it gives me the motivation because I can still enjoy all of life's little things, just not during the fast. But you've seen me, I'm still boozing at the weekend. I'm never going to say I'm never going to have cake at a wedding. If I've got a wedding coming up or a birthday, that's just not going to be a fast day. So going back to the second point on like, how do I make it sustainable? I might do, after I've reached a certain point of weight loss, I might do 1 24-hour a week, or I might do maybe skip a week if I've got stuff going on. And then say I had a really boozy somebody's wedding weekend, then maybe I'll go back to a 72-hour fast like that. And that's how I see it being sustainable, knowing that I can always correct overeating and overindulgence, and I can always have the overindulgence and then go back to fasting. So I'm basically setting up a feast and famine lifestyle, right? And I can stop it when I want.
Do you
That's quite good.
Do you alter your diet at all? What for your non-fasting days, like, or is that just Daddy's home? Here we go.
So because I felt so much better, like the mental clarity, the actual weight loss, all the things that Ian's saying that he's feeling from losing some of the weight, just generally feeling better, a bit more energy, being able to move around. It made me think about the rest of my diet. So almost incidentally, because I've been fasting, I've gone, oh, you know what? I'm going to add some whole grains to my diet. I'm going to try and eat more protein and fats, less carbs. So my diet's changed as well at the same time, kind of going hand in hand with reading about how fasting works and how the body uses nutrients and how macronutrients work and micronutrients work and how that ties to fasting has also caused me to eat better. But then at the same time, I can still do, like, I can't live if I can't celebrate the good things in life. So I wouldn't be able to do the fast. The fast actually enables me to do all that stuff without feeling guilty. Like I'm having a weekend where I'm having several pints, having a kebab, and I'm not feeling guilty because I know I can just do 48 hours next week and I'll be back on track. I love it. It's really changed my life about how I think about my health and what I eat.
Makes a lot of sense. Greg, to you, how have you got to this point? Like, what was your rock bottom? How did you get back from that? We love a rock bottom on here.
To be honest, mate, it's quite a weird, like, you probably know as a big fella, you sort of almost avoid photos at all costs. You don't want to see yourself like in certain angles. You have to check everything before and it's going on social media, any of that. It was honestly just like a few photos where I'm like, my God, I didn't know it was that. I didn't know that's what I look like when I go outside. And yeah, it was just sort of I suppose a low fear. I mean, you feel like mentally low about yourself. You don't, if you're not sort of liking what you see in the mirror, you're not going to be sort of Mr. Happy-go-lucky when you go outside. So it's sort of all tied in with that. I think, for me, I sort of sat there thinking, okay, what, who am I as a person? Like, actually, I always considered myself like a sporty guy who was like, half decent at football, could, play cricket, play golf, whatever. And I was actually like, oh, when was the last time you played football? Like, can you even sort of run around for 90 minutes anymore? And sort of asking myself those questions. And but yeah, okay, something's got to change here. But don't get me wrong, it's been I've had a lot of sort of false starts. I tried quitting booze a few times, and it was like 1 month, 3 months, whatever, and fall off the wagon. And diets, like I say, and I feel like I was at the ground floor of keto when Joe Rogan was discovering it. I was sort of messed about with those, and they were great. You'd lose loads of weight so quickly, and I was probably suffered from that, where you sort of stop keto and then all of a sudden you put half a stone back on. You're like, well, what the bloody hell was all that for then? And
yeah, I've done that cycle so many times, and I've promised myself I'm not going to do it now. I think I'm eating more what is good carbohydrates over anything else in this diet than like just me. I've done that so many times. I had Tyson Fury's nutritionist. I signed up with him, a guy called Greg Marriott. He made me eat a high fat diet, low protein diet. And I was just sweating meat. Like in the morning, you'd wake up, you'd get the fatty cuts of bacon and then pour a whole jug of double cream in there and eat that for breakfast. And I mean, I lost 2 stone in about a month. By the end of that month, I had no energy to do anything. The next step of it, he was like, you need to introduce carbs back in, but you need to shock the system. So he made me eat 16 bagels in a day with 1 slice of turkey and a little bit of cream cheese. And it was insane. I remember I went to a boxing event that night and I remember sitting there with 5 bagels, just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
You sure he just wasn't, you weren't caught in a trick?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I was playing for the privilege.
Oh,
There's another
man.
bloke who didn't WhatsApp. He WhatsApp voice noted. So you'd get these random, like he had a strong Sheffield accent. You get this random, like, just a bit of olive oil, pal. That'd be
one
like
more
little
bagel,
notes to you.
one more bagel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, keep going, big lad. No, I totally get that. So with the booze, you're 2.5 years sober. I've been. This is the one for me. I'm toying with going sober so much. I think people understand it more now, so you don't get the "What do you mean you're not drinking?" Like, I used to get some people saying like, "Well, how are you ever going to have any fun with your missus if you don't drink?" And I'm going, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. Like, I can
I actually
socialize.
quite like my missus. Yeah.
Yeah, all day I can talk to anyone, so I don't understand why that's different than a night out." I used to do door work years ago, so I was spending a lot. The whole nightclub thing isn't a problem for me. I can do that sober. But this 2.5 years for you, what's that journey been like? And do you think this is? I know a lot of people don't say that's me for good, but where's your headspace with it all, and how's it been?
Yeah, I mean, definitely more good than bad. For 100%, it's been probably the best decision I ever made in my life. In truth, that being said, that doesn't mean there aren't negatives. Like, of course there are. I've probably lost touch with a few mates. I'm not sort of always in the same social circles now. I think sort of a weekend, you just like, oh, you had that routine of out Friday, out Saturday with the boys, but that's not my life anymore. But like I said, the positives so outweigh the negatives for me. I mean, just calorie wise, you think the amount of booze, especially obviously we worked together. I mean, you were so pissed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You were too tired to go out Saturday in the recruitment game. So I found that just the calories that you were taking in, like you're probably drinking about 15,000 calories a week. And so weight loss, honestly, I didn't have to think about diet for a year. Genuinely didn't touch. In fact, I was probably eating more just because I was craving sugar, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of a cheat sheet to lose weight. Then I sort of plateaued and I'm thinking, okay, well, it's not a weight loss thing anymore. Actually, is it helping my life in other ways? And yeah, like work wise, I'm 10 times better. Relationship wise, like unbelievable now. Friendship wise, everything has got better.
Do you think you'll drink again? Do you think that's you've done it, or have you put a full stop on it, or do you keep it open?
The thing where I'm at now is I really like the alcohol-free beers. I drink them like Guinness Zero, shout out. But the only reason that I would go out, that I would drink again, is to get battered. And sort of once you've not been getting battered for 2.5 years, you look at it and you think, the things I'd do on nights out would make nuns weep. You'd wake up in the morning just feeling so much shame, and you're just like, well, how can you live with yourself if you're feeling ashamed of yourself for 3 days out of the week? But yeah, so I sort of look at it. I'm like, do I want to get battered? Do I want to be in a position where I've absolutely not a Scoobies what I'm doing? saying
Yeah.
insulting things to loved ones and all
I was going to say,
sorts.
could you give an example of something you've done that would make a nun weep?
Because Johnny can definitely return serve.
Nah, I'm not at all. I'm just interested.
Is Guinness Zero any good then, Greg? It sounds like you're back. I've not
Bang it.
tried Guinness Zero.
It's lovely.
Oh, I am available for sponsorship if they're in the market.
Is it great but also different to alcoholic, or are you saying it's just like so similar?
Well, because it's been like 3 years or 2.5 years since I've had a proper Guinness, I don't really know. Like that's just what Guinness tastes
yeah,
like to me. But
I think it's very the same. It's like for like.
Is
It's
there
the
not
one-
calories
it's
in
the
this
one.
alcohol-free stuff though as well?
Less calories than normal beer, though.
Yeah, I still think that's a waste of calories if it's not even going to get you
Yeah.
pissed.
but you have
Yeah.
3 and you don't want to have 10 more. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You also
I
get
think
a
I
it's
little
think I'll
bit.
just be on
enjoyable,
water, man. I can't see myself ever getting into these alcohol-free stuff.
I think if you're going to a pub, I've done a lot of time sober. If you go to a pub and you want to feel part of the conversation, the alcohol-free beer actually does this placebo effect where you feel like you're on a night out. And
Get a vodka Coke. Diet Coke, pretend it's got vodka in it.
yeah, I agree with you
Also,
now.
it is a tasting though, right? Like I do.
Yeah,
If I'm off the booze, I still like a beer. So actually, if there's a decent one around, I still enjoy it because I still like the taste of beer. Like Greg's probably having a Guinness because he's going to be an alcohol-free Guinness. I imagine because he likes the taste of Guinness.
Maybe if I got down to the weight I'm happy with, but if I'm wanting to lose weight and I'm not drinking, then that's calories I could be eating.
Yeah, if it's a weight loss
opinion.
thing, yeah. But now, well, Greg's obviously in a way of life, right? It's 2.5 years in, so I'd imagine that's
Fair
just
enough.
because you want to have a
I'm
drink
I, for this month where I'm like really focused on sort of dropping the LBs. I'm definitely drinking less of them. Like I've probably had one this month, but
Yeah.
just as a lifestyle, they're pretty handy. If you're going out, you get that little dopamine kick, and they're quite useful.
Or go back to the 6 pints of alcohol and do a 24-hour fast on Monday. Job's a good one.
I knew it's going.
I think I'm pretty convinced I'm going to give the fasting as I should say.
One of
my
us,
Northern Roast.
One of us.
I mean, I think I'd need to do it on a Friday because if I'm going to do, I hate working when I'm hungry. But Fridays, I quite often work Fridays pissed. So if I can work pissed, I can work hungry on a Friday.
But speaking in
Yeah,
defence,
absolutely.
because I'll back Max up a little bit there. Like I've tried fasting a few times, and I do see what he's saying about it unlocking that thing, and it's just stuff like, for example, you go on like an airplane or something. You're on a 13-hour flight. Like I'd be pretty comfortable not having a meal on that flight, and I think probably before I'd ever fasted and stuff like that, I would have never done that. I'd have had to eat them. Whereas like if I just don't like the look of the food, I just won't eat it now. So I do feel like it unlocks tools in your head or something.
Genuinely, Max, on like day 4, you're not hungry. Yeah,
I'm
honestly.
generally not hungry.
I think I've done 48 hours before, and I was just ravenous the whole time.
I think you just got to do it a couple more times, really.
Yeah,
So I made, it was just me and the boy this evening for bedtime, and I made him cheesy scrambled eggs with a little bit of bacon in it. It smelled gorgeous, and that was the first time I'd felt hungry in a while because that was right in front of me. But then as soon as it's out of the smell range, I forgot about it again. So yeah, generally I'm not hungry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I've struggled with sleeping as well. Like I wake up, I fall asleep, and then I wake up and I'm lying there like just starving and can't go back to sleep. Is there a trick for that? I mean, maybe sleeping tablets.
That sounds horrendous.
I would love to see that.
I mean, if you want to be able to
Cheers,
really
Ian.
need to
Doesn't see me in
sleep all the
misery.
time, you could have a child, and then every 10 minutes of available sleep your body's going to take. So
Yeah,
be
okay.
my
I'm
thing.
trying to lose weight in 4 months. I can't
Yeah.
wait 9 months to have a baby.
Fair enough.
I haven't got misses. Yeah, good idea though.
I haven't had that. I haven't had the time.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's like no, you're tired, but you just don't sleep. Maybe it's in my head.
Yeah,
Greg,
I'll
I was
have a
gonna
look
ask-
if I can see
Go on,
anything.
Greg.
Well, I just know from when I did ketosis, and maybe Ian, you can sort of chime in as well. My breath absolutely humding when
I was sweating me.
Oh yeah, same actually.
Have you found that you're like when you fast and stuff, you get
You do
that
get
breath?
stinky breath. You can't. That's the one negative. Yeah, that does definitely.
Chewing gum
Yeah.
That
I-
takes you out of thingy, doesn't it? Chewing gum.
Yeah, if it's
takes
sweet.
you
Yeah.
up. Oh yeah.
Have you done the bone
Uh,
broths, Max?
I did it a couple of times early on, but I found it something that set me back. I'd have it and be like temporarily satiated, and then huge waves of hunger later on, and then the next day. So I think it's different for different people, but for me, I find don't even bother with a slice of lemon in the water. Don't bother with the bone broths anymore. Any of those other little things. Only coffees and maybe a herbal tea. Very, very rarely. 'Cause, yeah, I just found it didn't work. Some people really find it beneficial, and technically, a bone broth would not be a true fast, but it affects the insulin so in such a small way that it's just as effective pretty much as not having it. So if it helps,
Surely,
do it. But
does
if it
the
doesn't,
coffee
don't.
not affect it then?
So yet again, coffee
Black
is
coffee's all right,
so
yeah.
low, and is actually an
Right.
appetite suppressant, as well. And like black coffee is sub 2 calories, right? So
Are there any other
appetite
suppressants?
suppressants.
Are there any other appetite? So you've got bone
Smoking?
broth, you've got
Um,
coffee.
Potato, mashed potato.
illegal stuff Ian was on about earlier.
No, that you can have on a fast. What if you're fasting? Like bone broth, coffee. What other things do
Green
people?
tea.
Right.
Oh, what things you can have? So you go through all the herbal teas, right? Chamomile, green tea, ginger tea, and in fact, herbal teas are a weird one because there's so many extra benefits for them, for other things as well. So if you like your herbal teas or you want to get into them, give them a go on a fast. So they're all fine. They're also negligible effect on insulin. Now it's not a problem to have them.
Teas and
Like-
coffees both I wouldn't care about personally. So
Yeah.
is there anything else that you can muster up that interests me?
So
Guinness.
keep going. I think the key is to have fasted enough that that kind of stuff doesn't interest you, right? That you're feeling
Yeah.
the benefits of it. I feel like sadly there isn't going to be something that satiates you. Oh, I tell you what, I also found more helpful early on is I like sparkling water, which I know can be a bit of a weird one. So that makes you feel more full than a normal glass of water if you like the bubbles.
Right.
So we've got a soda stream. And nail that.
Right. Yeah.
But
Okay,
sadly, no
excellent.
other special secret ones. You can get away with a slice of lime or a slice of lemon in a glass of water if that taste gets it for you. Just don't eat the lime or the lemon.
Yeah.
I've got I think
What about, sorry, I was going to say,
Go on,
what
John.
about sweet corn? Because don't you like shit that straight out? So surely that's got no calories in it.
It's carb, isn't it? It's the well anyway. But yeah, you definitely absorb the sugar.
Okay.
My wife's just shouting at me, hearing me talk, reminding me of what the book that I've sent allows and what a few doctors allow on getting into fasting is really high fat stuff. So if you don't like coffee black, you can get away with maximum of 2 teaspoons of double cream or any higher fat cream in it if you want that taste. And that it does slightly increase the insulin, but fat really doesn't spike the insulin that much.
Which
Right.
must be what
if
that
you-
bloody bloke's diet was for me.
Yeah, because
That was
fats are great actually.
It was awful. I'll send it. I've probably still got it somewhere.
I'm
Right,
going to do it this weekend. I'm going to do a 48-hour fast this
Yes,
weekend.
John.
Love
Go for
that.
it, man. Send me any questions you want. Like
Uh,
one
Can
thing
you
I really
film
wanted
yourself, John, throughout the whole thing?
just
yeah.
Just
Well,
staring at
Especially
the
when
camera.
you're
at
like
night
when
I
you're
can't
hungry.
sleep. When I
Yeah,
can't
that'd
sleep
be-
at night, and so you can laugh at me. Yeah.
No, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, just
Like
you staring in the fridge.
do the who is it? David Blaine, go in the plastic box.
Yeah,
Hang yourself in the middle of the office with a telephone so you can still make sales calls. And a curtain to hide behind for extra activities.
Gents,
It depends on Max's weigh-in tomorrow. If Max's weigh-in's good, I'll do it.
okay. John's a numbers guy. He needs numbers. Before we go, it's that time of week again. This week, the Guess the Calories game is sponsored by Tom's Butchers in Blackfen.
Oh yes, Tom.
Tom's Butchers sounds
Tom
fantastic.
Phillips is one of the
Legend.
best butchers in the south of England. Tom's Butchers regularly does barbecue bundles, meat bundles on his Instagram. And if you are looking for a really good, low, like top value meat, you go to Tom's Butchers on Instagram and play along. So this segment is sponsored by Tom's Butchers. Minted lamb chops from Tom Butchers are exceptional. Not one for the fasters.
No, perfect for fasters. For when you break the fast, go high protein. Best way, man.
Fine. There you
Perfect.
go. That could be an even bigger endorsement, that.
Hmm.
Right. So, how many calories did I have for lunch today? That's a question for all of you. Write it down.
Gotta tell us what you had now.
Tell you what I had, John? No.
Yeah.
It's called Guess the Calories, mate. I've asked you a
Yeah,
question.
but this is just
Answer the
lucky,
fucking
random
question.
lucky guess. What's the point of that?
Well, you should think about it. My strategy's been very clear, and I haven't broke my strategy yet.
I think
Furious,
Yeah,
Johnny,
all right. No, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I reckon I've nailed that.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
Okay. Let's go with the guess first. Greg, what's your guess?
I'm saying 650.
Okay. Max.
Well, you were saying 2,200. Say you split it between 3 meals a day, so 730.
Okay. Jonty.
I know you're having a bigger meal in the evening, and I've split it up: 500 for breakfast, 700 for lunch, 1,000 for dinner. So I've gone 700.
Bob
This feels
Cooper.
very Price is Right here.
I 546. There's no right decided on. 546.
Today, gents, I had 2 British chicken soups because it's the day before the weighing, and
Well,
I
I can
thought
get that now then.
I will chop that down.
250 calories each, aren't they?
No, they're not. They're 186 according to this.
Oh.
186 times 2, 360, 372.
That's world class.
Does that make me the winner?
That's
That means
Bob
Bob
Cooper.
won,
That's the
yeah.
first time he's
Yeah.
won Guess the Calories.
I think since the very
it was
first
luck.
time we did it.
Because it was luck.
Honestly, it's such a sort of it's ridiculous.
I think
Is
that's
that
why
it?
Wayne hasn't
Is that
been
the
in
only one you
touch.
got?
Right, you want to do breakfast? Let's go.
No, give us an actual thing that we can know. Oh, you
Just
haven't
name the
prepared,
item-
basically.
name the item
Is
you
this
had
why
for
we're
breakfast.
this is why we're guessing, because you haven't prepared.
No. I thought what would be a good one for all 5. This is why we've got a guy to edit stuff.
Yeah.
My drug addiction at the start of the pod's getting chopped as well. Don't you worry about that. We mentioned it earlier. Minted lamb chops
So like
per
a packet
chop.
of per chop.
A chop.
85 grams chop. Max he's got that foggy brain. He's saying that his brain's good. That's a man
Yeah,
who
it's
hasn't
gone
eaten in days. The migraine's gone straight through him.
You know, it's not fair. I don't track calories. I eat what I want when I'm not fasting.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah,
idea what
like
any of this
that.
stuff is, man.
Yeah.
I've got no idea what it is.
I'm not
Yeah.
great at lamb chops, to be honest.
Cheers for that, John. Thanks, mate. Max, let's go.
127.
Ooh,
Good.
Greg,
That
Wayne.
feels.
That sounds a bit low.
I've gone 295.
Okay, John Craven.
300. I probably can't see that.
No, it's just a blank screen,
No,
mate.
no.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's just a blank screen,
we'll
I'll
take your
get it.
first
Top right,
answer.
there you go, there, 300.
300, lovely. Bob.
160 because they're only small.
And they're mostly bone, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Very high.
I was
fat.
going to go
Different
120, but that
sizes.
was so close to Max's. I've changed to 160.
There's different sizes, isn't there?
I did say 85 grams at the start of
85
this.
grams.
Thank
but
you, John.
I don't know what don't know what weight looks like.
Brilliant.
That's
If
your
it's-
problem, not
if
me.
It's below,
Mine,
if
mate.
it's below 16 stone, I don't understand it.
Right, simple. 142 calories. I think that's max.
I
Yes.
just about
Really,
nailed
Bob
it.
again.
Yeah. Your point about fat, gents, do your research. Fat doesn't have much calories. Cheese.
Eight
the
calories
burger.
per gram. I was under the impression of fat.
Have a little look into your fatty meats. They're not that bad, which is back to that mad diet that I did. They're really not that bad. Protein's got some decent calories, but in theory, you can't eat that much of it. That was beautiful, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Before
Thank
you for
can we
having me.
do what's your predicted weight losses for tomorrow, chaps? 'Cause Max was up there, wasn't
I
he?
also want to know who you reckon's going to win. Who's your money on?
Yeah.
So this is plateau week normally, isn't it? Which Ian hasn't done. So I'm going to put you back. You must be a front runner. And also, I do think it is a bit easier when you got more to lose.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No think involved there.
That's
It's,
fine.
it's
I totally agree with him there. I think I'll get done this week, personally.
Hmm.
I think Alan is coming after me.
Yeah,
And
big out.
I think Kenny's gone quiet, and I think Kenny's going to come through like a hurricane.
I think Max is going to win the week, and I might be backing Max overall. It's got the.
I'm not. Let me tell you why I'm not sure about Max. I think he broke his fast and he'll have put on 2 kilos of water. So even if he's lost another 4 kilos, that's only a 2 kilo loss this week.
I think you're probably right. I haven't been weighing because it demotivates me. I think about a week apart's about right. So I reckon I'll probably only be about 3 kilos lighter than I was before.
A big
I'd
chunk.
still put you on like 7. Still pretty good.
Yeah.
The other outsider to me, right, in this weight loss horse race, is old Bob Cooper here. He's had his head switched on.
Yeah, I'm
Seen that,
fucking
man.
my head's fully on.
That squash match we had a few years back was epic.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I'm looking forward to getting that back on when we're at physical peak in 6 months' time. It's going to be lovely.
Do you remember when
What's,
we all played badminton and there was like 8 fat blokes playing badminton? That was brilliant.
Yeah,
What's
it was agony
New
at
York
points.
City dinner saying tonight, Bob?
Yeah.
I have located a Greek gaff near my hotel. So my strategy at the moment when I'm here is in the hotel they've got these for breakfast. You get like a meal ticket thing, and I'm basically having there's a bag of pastries is an option. You get like 2 croissants and something else in there. You can get a pot of yogurt with blueberries and granola, which is what I've been opting for, or you can get like bacon, egg, cheese, like baps and stuff, and you get 1 each. So I've been having this granola pot with yogurt and blueberries, which I worked out, I reckon it's probably about 350 calories. It's not very big. I've been working out for lunch and then having a grenade bar, which is like 200 calories. So I'm saving myself up for like, what's that, 1650 odd calories at night. So I'm just going to have a chicken and rice meal from this Greek gaff, which is probably less, might only be 700-800 calories, and then just be in that deficit. That's the plan for me, and I'm going to try and repeat that most days. But then I know if I get to the weekend and I think, actually, I fancy experiencing some more exciting New York cuisine, then I've got a load of calories in the tank. So my dinner tonight will just be a chicken and rice meal, basically, and I have that I'll have that pretty much every weeknight, just so I know I'm way under calories and I've got a bit in the tank. But to that avail, I did 1 hour and 40 on the treadmill yesterday, and I've already done an hour today. I'm doing another little workout when I get home, so my head's on at the minute.
He moves.
Bob's a contender.
Bob's
Bob is a
cooking.
contender.
He's a
I am at the
contender.
minute, yeah.
And he moves. Do you know the other two that we haven't mentioned is the Walsh twins? Them boys
Yeah.
know how to shift timber.
Yeah.
We had him on the pod before, and he was saying that he lost a lot of weight. So yeah, it's all to play for. What a hell of a competition!
Mm.
In my mind,
Great
this is the World Cup of weight loss. It really is. Like, you can tell everyone's like supportive, but they're also like, I've got to up my fucking game here. Yeah. Everyone's trying. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like to shout out Claire. I think she's been a really good, like, consistent motivator in the group.
True.
Shout
love
out
that.
Max as well, because he's spinning heads with this strategy. Everyone had a strategy, and everyone's
Join me.
He's already got Jonty coming along. You have to play a cam now. I cannot wait. Just a little like see what Max does on Instagram. That's what I want you to do. The little
Little update.
stories, just like it's 3:30 a.m. and
10 pints of water.
Yeah.
I mean, pints.
I'm thinking about covering myself in Greek yogurt.
Gents, it's been lovely having you on. Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
We'll
thanks.
definitely
Thanks for having us, man.
Well, we've got coming up in. We've got James Bake.
We've got James the Bake. So if you've got any questions for a nutritionist, let us know. I have put fasting in the topics to him already.
Please. I hear what he's got to say, really.
And I've also sent all the questions from the group already. So recording that tomorrow, that'll be out. We might do a double header next week, actually, just to keep the ball rolling. And then we've got how many? Are we halfway through? Because it was the 4th.
Halfway through tomorrow, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got weigh-ins tomorrow.
And the final weigh-in Sunday morning, isn't it? The 4th is a Sunday morning.
And I've got a party that Saturday night, which is really concerning me. I don't want to ruin it the last night.
Oh, Bob's no longer a contender. He doesn't even turn up to the weigh-in. He doesn't make the weigh-in at this rate.
A bit to say about that. I realised that last week.
Any weight cutting tactics going into the last week, or are you going to be playing fair?
I'm going to do my fasting last week, purely because I've got a meal booked in with the lads on Tuesday the 30th, and then I'm going to do a 3-day fast after that, before I then go to this party on the Saturday.
I suspect there's going to be a few fasters for the last weigh-in.
I've been told that if I come home without chopping board, that could be me and her done.
So is that a guilt trip on the rest of us?
Someone has to win it
on the Wednesday.
There you go, love. I won the chopping board that I made for myself. She's like, that's got to leave our house. I think the last week's going to be the real one. And I also think, knowing diets, that's where you get into the real dark days. So anyone that's on calorie deficiency, the last week gets tough. People will start doing some stupid things like 500 calorie days. That's really hard. But I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm in a good mental headspace, as I said before you guys got on. I did reference the fact that I am, top dropper already from week 1.
Brilliant.
And I'll say it again.
Mate. We'll all see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just be aware, mine will be a bit later because I'm obviously behind time. It'll be a bit later.
Any other sort of angles you want to make yourself better, Bob? Fine. Doesn't matter, mate.
I'm just saying I'll be asleep.
This one doesn't matter. The halfway point doesn't matter. Yeah.
Whatever.
Gentlemen,
right, gents, thanks for coming on. We'll see you all tomorrow for the weigh-in.
Cheers. Pleasure.
Cheers, chaps.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
We've got some diet plans, health scans, sugar bans, fitness fans, PTs, injuries, laying off the Chinese, ball games, gym chains, protein gains and skin tight tops, and we ain't gonna stop until we hit the 50k. Drop, 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 drop. No excess fat, no FAT, no curry bag, no guarantee. Rough or buff, lean on me. We'll end up as fit as a pig. Dropping 50k, goodbye 50k. We'll lose 50k. Ian or Bob, who's gonna win?